Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm deeply honored to welcome you to the conferment ceremony of the Honorary Doctorate, Doctor of Philosophy, Honoris Causa, the highest recognition awarded by the University of Haifa to Professor Eugene V. Koonin. In accordance with academic tradition and in the spirit of the University of Haifa, I kindly ask the audience to stand while I introduce the members of the university's academic procession as they enter the auditorium. Please remain standing until all members of the procession have taken their seats. The first to enter the auditorium are the distinguished members of our Degrees Committee. Professor Aharon Geva Kleinberger. Professor Orna Rabinovich Eini. Professor Aviad Rubin. University Deans, Professor Irit Akirav, Dean of the Graduate Studies Authority, Head of the Bloom School for Graduate Studies. Professor Shlomo Wagner, Dean of the Faculty of Natural Sciences. Professor Chaim Bitterman, Dean of the Herta and Polomer School of Medicine. Professor Daphna Canetti, Dean of the Herta and Polomer Faculty of Social Sciences. Professor Efrat Dagan, Dean of the Faculty of Social Welfare and Health Sciences. Professor Batya Engel-Yeger, Dean of Students. Professor Rosa Laiki, Dean of the Faculty of Education. Professor Zohar Segev, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities. Professor Rita Osadchi, Dean of the Faculty of Computer and Information Sciences. Professor Tal Jarsky, Dean of the Faculty of Law. The University of Haifa Administration, Professor Oren Gazal Ayal, Vice President and Dean of Research and Development. Mr. Gidon Hersher, Vice President of Development. Professor Tali Katz-Gero, Vice President for Global Engagement. Professor Meir Chemo, Vice Provost. Professor Muna Maroon, Rector. Professor Gural Roi, President. Hooding Professor Koonin, Professor Charles Milgrom. Professor Sagis Nir. And finally, our distinguished recipient, Professor Eugene V. Koonin. Gentlemen, please take your seats. My name is Dr. Lidor Shahar Moshe, and it is my great pleasure to host this evening's proceeding. I'm a new faculty member and a Zuckerman Faculty Scholar in the university's Department of Evolutionary and Environmental Biology, where I lead a research group in the fascinating field of plant biology. In my lab, we explore how the plants we all rely on, including those we eat, cope with difficult and changing environments. For example, we study how tomatoes grow in salty soil, how different light treatments can help lettuce and tomato grow more efficiently indoor, and how some plants manage to survive drought while storing more carbon in their roots, thereby helping to capture CO2 in the atmosphere, from the atmosphere. Our work does not stop in the lab. We also grow and test plants in growth chambers and greenhouses across campus. Our goal is to turn these discoveries into practical ways to grow stronger, more resilient crops that can feed people around the world, even as the climate changes. I'm especially honored to be part of this festive ceremony, as my own research on the conservation and divergence of gene function across plant species draws on the foundational work in comparative genomics pioneered by Professor Koonin. Tonight, I'll have the pleasure of guiding you through the ceremony and introducing our distinguished guests and speakers. It is my honor to invite the university's rector, Professor Muna Maroon, to deliver her greetings and remarks. Professor Maroon, the podium is yours.
Good evening, university leadership, deans, our very dear Herta Amir, and distinguished Professor Eugene V. Koonin, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, and friends. I'm honored to address you on this special occasion. Today, we honor not only one of the world's most distinguished scientists, but also a man whose moral courage and human compassion illuminate the essence of what it means to belong to a global scientific community. Your presence here with us, Professor Koonin, is a privilege for us all. And it is profoundly symbolic that this moment, your conferral as doctoral honoris causa, coincides with the opening of our new Herta and Paul Amir School of Medicine, a school founded on the conviction that science must serve life and that knowledge must be guided by empathy. Throughout your extraordinary career, you have expanded the frontiers of biological understanding. Your groundbreaking research has illuminated the deep architecture of evolution, showing us how genome adapt, how viruses drive change, and how life, in all its complexity, evolves through interaction and exchange. Your insights into horizontal gene transfer, the evolution of viruses, and the CRISPR system that today revolutionize medicine have forever changed how we see life, not as hierarchy, but as a network of relationship. And perhaps this is the heart of your legacy, the belief that connection, not isolation, is the key to resilience, both in biology and humanity. But your contribution does not end in the lab. After the tragic events of October the 7th, when pain and fear swept through our country and society, when the fields of South were deserted and the wounds of loss were raw, you came. You came not as a scientist on a formal visit, but as a friend, as a human being who refused to remain distant. You worked in the fields, helping with the harvest in southern Israel, standing shoulder to shoulder with farmers and families who had lost so much. At a time when few from abroad dared or were able to come, you came, quietly, humbly, and with deep compassion. That gesture of solidarity touched every one of us. It reminded us that the pursuit of knowledge is meaningless without the courage to act when humanity is tested. Your gesture also resonates deeply with what the University of Haifa stands for. You are a university unlike any other in Israel, a microcosmos of the country's diversity. People from every background study, teach, and dream together. Here, diversity is not a slogan. It is our living reality and our great source of strength. It teaches us every day that progress, whether social or scientific, comes from dialogue, from openness, from the courage to listen to the other. In the language of your science, Professor Koonin, we might say that diversity is the engine of evolution, in genomes as in societies. And just as horizontal exchange enriches life's complexity, intellectual and cultural exchange enrich human understanding. The University of Haifa embodies this belief. You are a place where science meets coexistence, where medicine meets morality, and where knowledge is always in service of humanity. It is therefore profoundly fitting that we confer upon you this honorary doctorate at a very moment we inaugurate our new School of Medicine, a school that, like your life's work, bridges the molecular and the human, the scientific and the ethical. This coincidence is not only symbolic, it is visionary. It strengthens the bond between the natural sciences and the medical sciences, reminding us that the understanding of life's most fundamental processes, from the genome to organism, cannot be separated from the mission to heal, to prevent disease, and to sustain human well-being. Our new School of Medicine stands upon the solid foundation of our existing faculties, especially the Faculty of Natural Sciences and the Faculty of Health and Welfare. Together, they reflect a single, unified idea that knowledge, which shared across disciplines, becomes a force not only for discovery, but for compassion and care. In this context, I would like to thank Professor Sagi, who worked hard to get to this moment. Professor Sagi, we appreciate so much your efforts and dedication to make Professor Koonin a family member of the University of Haifa. Professor Koonin, we thank you for your monumental contributions to science, for your humility and humanity, and for your friendship with us and with the Israeli society during one of the darkest times. On behalf of the University of Haifa, it is my deepest honor to welcome you into our academic family. May your science continue to inspire discovery, and may your humanity remind us that knowledge, when guided by conscience, have the power to heal, to unite, and to transform our world. Thank you, Professor Koonin, and welcome home.
Thank you, Professor Maroon, for your insightful words. And now, let us watch together a short film that offers a glimpse into the heart of our university, its DNA and vision.
Between the Carmel Mountains and the Mediterranean, the University of Haifa reflects the spirit of its city, diverse, vibrant, alive. 18,000 students across 7 faculties, half of them the first in their families to enter higher education and most from Israel's periphery. Together, they create a living mosaic of the country itself. Our mission begins with curiosity and the drive to innovate. Marine scientists push the frontiers of exploration, using advanced technologies to study the deep sea, climate, and biodiversity. Across disciplines, researchers harness the power of AI, transforming law, health, education, and business, reshaping how knowledge itself is created. At the new School of Design, technology and creativity converge, turning bold ideas into solutions that change the way we live, work, and connect. From trauma research to mental health, from nursing to health sciences, our innovations strengthen communities and ensure care reaches every corner of Israel. Israel faces urgent healthcare challenges. This fall, the Herta and Paul Amir School of Medicine opens its doors, guided by the motto, Integrated Medicine from Day One. Students train in hospitals, in community clinics, and in digital health, learning medicine as both science and service. At a time when physicians are in short supply, especially in the north, our school brings hope for a healthier tomorrow. On our campus, diversity is not just present, it is embraced. Jewish, Arab, Druze, Christian, and international students learn side by side. The Free Center for Shared Society offers a bold vision, not coexistence, but co-creation. Here, dialogue becomes collaboration, and collaboration becomes action. Students working together to shape a shared future that honors every voice and every community. A vision of what Israel can become, beginning right here in Haifa. We stand with those who serve, offering tailored support for students called to reserve duty, and academic rehabilitation for wounded veterans. Our commitment reaches far into the community. Legal clinics expanding access to justice, educators and social workers partnering with schools and NGOs, and healthcare training that strengthens the North. From the sea to the Carmel, from discovery to innovation, from resilience to renewal, the University of Haifa transforms knowledge into action. Here, ideas become solutions, students become leaders, and every achievement ripples outward, shaping communities, strengthening society, and building Israel's future.
A truly inspiring video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful musical treat from our Department of Music. Please welcome our talented students, Idan Saleh, vocalist, Tzlil Berlin on the piano, and Noam Shachar on the guitar, performing Amir Dadon's song, Or Gadol. Enjoy.
אולי למדתי מזה משהו חשוב, אבל בסוף כשזה נגמר יש סיבה לכל דבר. לבד בתוך כל הטירוף אני חושב איך שהזמן יכול לעוף, אבל בסוף שזה נגמר יש סיבה לכל דבר. אור גדול בסוף שזה נגמר יש תשובה לכל דבר גדול מאיר הכל ויותר כבר לא צריך לשאול אני בא ללמוד ממה שטוב ולחיות להתחיל הכל מההתחלה כמו לנשום בפעם הראשונה אני כאן לא מתבזבז יותר כאן לא מתבזבז להתחיל הכל מההתחלה כמו לנשום בפעם הראשונה אני כאן לא מתבזבז תודה.
Thank you for that moving performance. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let us watch a tribute video celebrating the life's work and the remarkable achievements of Professor Eugene Koonin.
Professor Eugene Koonin is among the most influential evolutionary biologists of our time, a scientist devoted to unraveling life's greatest mysteries through the power of computational science. Through decades of groundbreaking research, his discoveries have redefined our understanding of the genetic foundations of life, revealing the extraordinary complexity that links everything from the smallest viruses to the very origins of life on Earth. Born and educated in the Soviet Union, Professor Koonin began his career studying bacterial genetics at the Soviet Academy of Medical Sciences. In 1991, he joined the U.S. National Institutes of Health, becoming a senior investigator just 5 years later. Today, he heads the Evolutionary Genomics Group at the National Library of Medicine, where he continues to explore the molecular forces that drive evolution. Professor Koonin's research uncovers the genetic building blocks that shape the evolution of life on Earth, including one of his most important contributions, the development of the concept of clusters of orthologous genes, a cornerstone of modern evolutionary biology. This framework allows scientists to trace related genes across species that diverged millions of years ago, revealing the shared genetic heritage of all living organisms. He was among the first scientists to describe and study horizontal gene transfer, the remarkable process by which bacteria exchange genetic material across species. This discovery shed light on key biological mechanisms, from the spread of antibiotic resistance to microbial adaptation under stress. Another landmark contribution was his discovery of the evolutionary role of the CRISPR mechanism, the natural genetic defense system that enables bacteria to protect themselves from viruses. His insights laid the scientific foundation for later biotechnological breakthroughs that now drive advances in genetic medicine, cancer therapy, and pandemic response. Koonin's early discoveries were instrumental in shaping the research that led to the awarding of the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry to scientists from the United States and Germany. Across more than 4 decades of research, Professor Koonin has published over 1,100 scientific papers and reviews, cited hundreds of thousands of times. He is a member of the U.S. National Academies of Sciences and Medicine, a foreign member of the European Molecular Biology Organization, and holds honorary doctorates from leading universities across Europe and Israel. Beyond his extraordinary scientific achievements, Professor Koonin is a true friend of the University of Haifa and the State of Israel. Just 2 months after the horrors of October 7th, he was among the first international scholars to visit Israel. I realize that this is a symbolic act, he said, but symbols have their importance. It's important to me to identify with the residents of Israel, with those who were killed and injured in the Gaza envelope area. And sadly, there are so many of them. Then he traveled to volunteer in the Gaza border communities, offering help and solidarity to residents recovering from trauma and loss. The University of Haifa is deeply honored to confer upon Professor Eugene Koonin the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, honoris causa, in recognition of his pioneering scientific contributions, his long-standing collaboration with the University of Haifa, and his unwavering friendship with the State of Israel.
And now we come to the hooding ceremony in honor of Professor Koonin. I invite Professor Honorary, President of the University, and Rector Muna Maroon to the stage. As part of a University of Haifa tradition, we honor our recipients with hooders who are dear friends and supporters of the university. This is our way of welcoming our honorary doctorates into our family and community. I invite Professor Charles Milgram and Professor Sagi Snir to the stage, who will be performing the hooding. Professor Charles Milgram is a long-standing member of the university's Board of Governors and a recipient of an honorary doctorate from the University of Haifa. His distinguished medical career and lifelong dedication to education and public service reflect his family's philanthropic legacy. His achievements span the development of a drug to treat falciparum malaria, a leading career as an orthopedic shoulder surgeon and military medical doctor, and pioneering research in biomechanics and epidemiology. Key highlights include his significant contribution to remarkable Operation Moses, the Israeli rescue mission that airlifted over 8,000 Ethiopian Jews from Sudan to Israel, the Ambrose Parry Prize in military medicine, his leadership in startup ventures, and more than 350 days of reserve army service on Israel's southern front since October 7. Professor Sagi Snir earned his degree in computer science from the Technion, specializing in analytical and algebraic and maximum likelihood approaches to phylogenetics. Following a postdoctoral fellowship in the departments of mathematics and computer science at the University of California, Berkeley, he returned to Israel and established the bioinformatics graduate program at the University of Haifa, where he now serves as a professor of computational evolution. He is also the president of the Israeli Society for Bioinformatics and Computational Biology. Beyond academia, Professor Snir is an avid triathlete. After serving 7 years in an elite track in the Israeli Navy, he embarked on a remarkable 2-year motorcycle journey from the southern tip of South America to Alaska. Now, I am deeply honored to invite Professor Eugene Koonin to the stage.
Groundbreaking achievements in molecular biology, microbiology, and computational genomics, for his seminal role in uncovering the CRISPR mechanism, a discovery that has revolutionized genome editing and biomedical research, for his innovative synthesis of physics, probability, and statistical modeling, leading to important advances in evolutionary biology and the classification of viruses, for his pioneering development of computational tools and evolutionary models that now underpin modern genomic research, reshaping our understanding of microbial and viral evolution, and for his enduring partnership with the University of Haifa, which has enriched the academic community and inspired future generations of researchers.
I invite Professor Koonin to the podium to deliver his remarks and share insights from his exceptional contributions to our understanding of viruses and their evolution.
I'm very humbled right now. It's a huge honor indeed to receive this honorary degree from the University of Haifa. Very emotional moment. But of course, I thank you, Mr. President Gur, Rector Mona, for all these wonderful words, which is not for me to judge whether I deserve or not. On a less formal note, it's really a huge and special pleasure for me to receive this, because I have been linked to the University of Haifa for 25 years, yes, indeed, for all of this century. And I will never forget being a much younger scientist at the time, being so warmly and wonderfully welcomed here by my friend, professor, and great scientific star and winner of the Israeli Prize, Professor Ibn Ivo here. Unfortunately, he is not around right now, but maybe he's watching. I hope so. In any event, let me repeat. Okay, this is already here, and we have seen this. Well, it is not what we want, but anyhow, from Bethesda to Haifa. And this moment, of course, was very special, and I want to repeat this once and for all. I stand with Israel. But right now, I'm going to do something completely inappropriate, probably. I'm going to deliver some pure technical scientific remarks for the next few moments, but bear with me. I will not dwell on complicated equations. I will go through this fast. But here it is. Here's my dear friend, Professor Sagi Snir, and our collaboration with the Haifa University has been really shaped, but are working together over the years with Sagi. And I want to walk you for some of this work. So this is how it started. This 2011 paper, very modest thing in a modest journal, just establishing some statistical methodology for identifying gene clusters in any genomes, essentially in bacterial genomes in particular, and by using this methodology, in the development of which Sagi has been so very helpful, we have demonstrated a simple but profound biological phenomenon, namely the statistically significant clustering of defense genes anti-phage defense genes in bacterial genomes, allowing people to discover, ourselves and others, to discover novel systems of microbial immunity. And it gives me a very special pleasure to show this, because this little methodological breakthrough has been taken up by many laboratories, but especially by the laboratory of Professor Rotem Sarek. Here he is in his lab in the Negev, who really brought about a microscientific revolution by discovering, using that methodology of ours and additional experimental and computational methodologies, an incredible variety of innate immunity system in microbes. This is really a breakthrough area these days. And here is my young friend and collaborator now at Institut Pasteur and formerly at the Weizmann Institute at Bernheim, who is the leader in describing all this remarkable biological diversity of bacterial defense systems, which, by the way, coming back to Muna's remarks here, can be used and are being used and recruited for improving human health. But ahead with our collaboration with Sagi Snir, here is something very fundamental, what we dubbed universal pacemaker of genome evolution, advancing and modifying the old concept of molecular clock. And here is more, extending this concept of universal pacemaker of genome evolution to the evolution of animals and fungi, bringing it closer to home, so to speak. Another fundamental discovery in molecular evolution, showing the interplay of extreme evolutionary stability and variability in gene evolution. And fast forward to the present. In this very recent paper, we develop and present a rigorous model of genome evolution by translocation combined with gene gain and loss. And working with senior scientists in my lab, Yuri Wolf and Sagi, we are looking into the future towards a rigorous general framework of mathematically rigorous framework for studying genome evolution. I think, believe, and hope that the best, the most important fundamental discovery are still to come. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Professor Koonin, for your invaluable scientific contributions, whose impact reaches across so many fields, and for your long-standing friendship and support for Israel and the University of Haifa. It is truly an honor to have you with us. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the University of Haifa, I thank you for joining us. This concludes the Honorary Doctorate ceremony. Let us look ahead with hope to brighter days of peace and security in our country, and extend our best wishes for success to all our students as they embark on the new academic year. We now invite you to join us for a reception of our next event, the opening ceremony for the Herta and Paula Mills School of Medicine. The ceremony will begin here at 6:30. Thank you all.